Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Visualizing Your Warehouse and Simplifying Automation. My name is Dave Williams, and I am the Vice President of Technology Solutions at Westfalia Technologies. And today I'd like to show you a little bit of a tool that we've developed called Firefly. We came up with the name Firefly because we wanted something that would illuminate your warehouse and fireflies illuminate the outdoors. So kind of a cute, and it's a bug. One of the things that you can see as you come into Firefly, there are multiple uses. Firefly presents a three-dimensional view of your warehouse for you, and both DC management and on the floor attendants and folks running the system have different uses for the system and can find different uses for the system. And I'd like to review those with you today. First of all, when you first come into Firefly, you can see and get a feel for your warehouse. You can understand how things are running, if there are faults, if things are clogged up on your conveying system, and so forth. And you can see that, as you can see on the screen, we have the computer layout for one of our current customers. It's very visual in nature. The lines that you can see are the conveying system within this particular application. You can also see the individual blocks or of storage if you'd like to turn those on and off. So now this is the first level, for instance, that you can see of storage. So it gives you a good idea. As a DC manager, you get an overall feel of how your warehouse is running, the capacity that you might have, any issues that you might have, and things like that. What I'd like to do is first show you from a DC management perspective, one of the tools that you might like to use within Firefly that's called our analysis tool. Within the analysis tool, we have the ability to see various things within the system at any given point in time, such as where are all my partials located? Do I have too many partials? Are they located throughout the system? Are they blocking full pallets? Things like that. We can look at zoning information. How do I have my warehouse segmented into various zones for storage of different products, my high movers, my slow movers, those products with allergens, things like that. I can also see the density of my building and where items are located. Are items mixed in lanes? Will it cost me more time to come back from when I go to retrieve product because I have to do more rewarehousing and things like that? As you can see on the screen, if I had within our analysis mode of the tool, I quickly can click on a partial filter, and I can see all of the red pieces of inventory that are shown. And again, this is only one level of this system, but all of the partial pallets are shown in blue, and all the red pallets or full pallets that are stored here. So I can see that this system, at least on this level, is very well balanced. My partials are out on the edges. These happen to be gravity flow lanes in this system, and all my full pallets are packed neatly in here. I'd like to see, well, how am I doing from a zoning perspective? And how are my fast movers versus slow movers looking from a zone perspective? I've set up individual zones in our warehouse management system. For fast movers are A movers, B movers, C movers, for instance. And then I also have a refrigerated section down here on the bottom. So I have a fast, medium, and slow mover in that areas as well. So I can see my fast mover in the ambient area of this particular warehouse. The pink section, as you see it on the screen today, is in the middle, and it does have space. It doesn't look too overly populated. As I turn on additional levels potentially, I want to be able to see those individual levels and start to do that analysis on individual levels to start seeing how my zones are represented. I can also then go into my system and determine very quickly how mixed or how congested my particular building might be. I can do that by clicking on the items view and seeing that. Let me take you back to level 1 so it's easier to see. When I zoom in, I can see that each of the items are a different color. And if I look at each one of these columns, if you will, representing a lane, I can see that I am not mixed at all. These are individual SKUs that are taking up an entire lane. And because of that, they're going to be very fast to be retrieved on the outbound side. I do have part of my warehouse, however, on this end of the building that is for my ultra slow moving product, stuff that I don't need to turn every day. Maybe I only need to pick it once a week or once every other week or once a month. I can see that there, for instance, there are multiple SKUs in this particular lane because I'm not as worried about the throughput concerns and the needs to get those out. If I would like to see what a particular SKU is, I can click on that SKU or that pallet, and I can see various information about that pallet. What's the license plate number? What location is it actually in? What position in the lane? If it has a mission to go somewhere, what's its destination? What item is it? Lot, quantity, or is it associated order? So there's a lot of detailed information that we can retrieve just simply by clicking on pallets within the system. As you can see, there's a variety of different ways to use the tool for analysis. This is our three-dimensional view. As I said, you can rotate it and move it around, but this also gives you a better perspective of what's actually being stored. As we leave the analysis mode, one other important thing for DC managers to be in management staff to look at is just, as I said, to get a general feeling of how your building is running. Green means good in our case, red means bad or faulted, and blue means it's in progress. So I can look off to the right here and I see a system fault window that shows me I have 3 different faults. I can also notice that down in the lower part of the screen here that I have red lines. That indicates a fault. I also have red lines at the top and a red Q that's at the top here that all indicate faults. Well, it's maybe not necessarily easy to see. So if I actually click on one of these faults, it takes me to that actual fault in that area and shows me what the fault is on this lower right-hand side or lower left-hand side. This is where the attendants and the people that are maintaining the system really start getting a value from Firefly. I can quickly jump to see where the fault is, jump to where the area in the system where the fault might be, understand what the fault is, and if I need more information, there's extended information here on the little fault window that tells me possible triggers. And based on those triggers, what are some of the things that could be causing this? And let's say it was because roller chains are not moving properly. If I click on that, I can then drill in and it tells me some possible solutions. So what I have is a tool that allows me to do triage of the faults that I'm having and very quickly come to an answer on how I might need to recover from that. I can reset from here. I can reset the fault if I find out one or correct the situation and find out that everything is good to go. I reset it. The area actually turns blue and says, okay, I acknowledge that you're trying to reset me. And then the system tries to move forward. In this case, when I reset, it does not allow me to reset. So I know that there's still a continued issue about a pallet being stuck. If I look at one of the other faults that's happening, I click in this area and I see that this was pallet not centered fault. And that was this particular in-feed conveyor that's coming into this system. Again, I don't know how to fix it. I can come in and get some ideas on how to fix it. I'm actually physically standing there when I'm trying to do this so that maybe I notice that I need to reset a particular area by moving a pallet from this location to this location. I know based on this red arrow that this pallet was intended to move to this next position from conveyor 340 to 341, for instance, and that it's red and it's faulted, it's not physically there. So as I enter into recovery mode, I can then determine what I need to do and move pallets around. Okay. I can then choose a particular conveyor or piece of equipment and determine to run that piece of equipment forward, backward, raise the chains, lower the chains, if you will. I come to the PLC panel where it tells me exactly the encoder information on pieces of equipment, gives me everything that I need to know to move that particular piece of equipment or piece of inventory from that conveyor or segment of equipment to another location. I know it's running in automatic mode. If I decide that I need to do something manually and maybe turn the chains on to center a pallet or to move it physically one way or another, I can click on the auto button. It turns to manual. I notice in my screen that if I were to look, this now indicates that this piece of equipment, this turntable, is in a manual mode. And because of that, I can then go through and move pallets around and do things that I need to do with it. Okay, I can also look at my overall system I/O information. Do I have any e-stops? Are any light curtains broken? Do I have any aisle issues with the cranes? So very quickly, I can get a lot of information at my fingertips to find out what I need to do. Once I'm through running the chains in forward, reverse, turning the turntable in this case, clockwise or counterclockwise, lining up what I need to do, I put the conveyor back into automatic mode. And as the system then resets itself, this conveyor is now back into automatic mode and the system is controlling it. So again, very quickly, you can navigate through your system and use this tool to very quickly understand what's going on and manage your system. I'd like to take any questions that you might have on this particular tool and how it might fit into your environment. It certainly runs with the Westfalia Warehouse Execution System, Savannah.net, but we can also allow this particular, or configure this particular tool set to work with your PLC network, assuming that we have the right tags, network, and so forth. So at this time, I'd like to open the floor up for any questions, and we would be happy to answer them for you.